build a remarkable brand and technology for your business, which is also on Meetup. Is actually having a lot of people, over 1,000 members. You can join. He's also very experienced with over 16 years of experience in both big and smart enterprise companies, which he is the head of Acolac Tech. And Acolac Tech, we are an IT consulting company, and we basically operate in US and Nigeria, providing complex IT solutions for businesses. I'll be handing over the podium to Mr. King to proceed. Thank you, sir. Over to you.
Yeah, thank you, Sam, for the introduction. So I guess people will be joining along, but without further ado, I'm gonna be presenting cybersecurity awareness webinar today. So the topic for today is what is cybercrime, perpetrators and attack, common misconceptions and types of attack, and then, don't be a victim, and remote work plus cybersecurity. So I hope, we all learn from these and take a tip that we can take along with us and be able to implement it in our daily activities. All right, so let me start. So the idea of cybersecurity is not something that is new. I mean, this has been happening years and decades, and it's still growing. So what is the cybercrime in its definition? So, and if you guys cannot hear me well, just let me know. I hope you guys can hear me loud and clear. So cybercrime is any type of illegal activities that take place in digital platform. Basically, it's an online crime. That's why it's so difficult to track and arrest people, because these are not physical occurrences. Cybercrime is malicious activity with a broad range, such as including cyberbullying, plant worms or viruses, and it's often divided into two distinct categories that you can basically identify. Some can cause internal damage, and those that cause unintentional damage. So there's purpose where people really actually inflict damage, and some, is not intentional, but it's actually, it affects the end user. So either way, in most cases, cybercrime causes financial damage. The main purpose of cybercrime is to be able to get some kind of a result, financial or political gain. So in today's world of cybercrime or cyber world, data theft is one of the most common types of crime. Companies have an obligation to protect not only their own data, but their customers as well. The loss of customer data not only damage the company's reputation, but can also cause collateral financial damage due to both loss of employee time and whatever money the company has to spend to fix and mitigate the problem. So as you can see, these are the types of crime that is exist. And there's something called crimeware as a service. This is actually a crime as a service which is being inflicted in all kind of online presence. And then there's the ransomware. So I'm going to go through, what these attacks is all about, and we can get deeper into it. So if a cybercrime were a country, what will be the gross product per country, GDP, for that cybercrime. And if you look at these categories in this analysis graph, this is the source is being, as you can see, the source below. So if some of you are wondering where did I get my source from, so I also display the source below. This is from the Visual Landscape of Cybersecurity Opti, and you can see there's a breakdown of a country per capita GDP. So you can see cybercrime is number 13, which is $1.5 trillion. So this is a lot of money that in place for cybercrime. So there is a profitable business for some of the bad attackers. So as you can see, it's a very, and that makes it a bigger than 183 countries. You know, some countries doesn't have this GDP, but as you can see, the big and enormous size of cybercrime. All right, so, and this is the question of, you know, to myself and every other people, you know, why should I care about cybercrime? Is it something that I have to worry about? Or I can just go about, you know, my business as usual? But victims of attack of cybercrimes experience a variety of losses, publicly or privately. And anyone can be a victim of cybercrime. Hackers are getting more sophisticated and powerful than before. They are developing new tactics and new, you know, techniques and software inflections, and they are more smart as new technologies and cybersecurity protection and in place. They're also learning these technologies and also improving in their craft. So they explore vulnerability. That is their is the purpose, to explore vulnerability and launch the attack and then hold something as a financial gain, basically. So as you can see, customer protection. This is what they always look for vulnerability. They look for financial costs to the organization, career damage. They can use it as a career damage to damage somebody's career. Company reputations, they will post some bad information or private information about that company. Product protection, that's another key. We'll see you know, the issue with intellectual property, stolen intellectual properties, so that they can use it and enrich themselves without doing the effort to create one. They can attack all kinds of people, so nobody is excluded from this cyber war. It's anybody, even the government. So individual, you know, if you say, oh, I don't have anything, I can't, you know, anybody is all kind of people are included, you know, individuals, employees, small businesses, big enterprise, CEO, executives, government agency, non-profit, and others. It goes, the list goes on and on. So there's no limit and there's no caps on where these attacks can be launched. All right, so I'm going to talk about these perpetrators' stories. And this is one of the big stories, masking Viktorovich Yakovets. This is one of the warlords of cybercrime that has existed, you know, and if you doesn't know the story, you know, I can share it with you. You know, Maskin was born in 1987, you know, in a small suburb of Odessa, Ukraine. Necessity were hard to come by. So he was steal bread for lunch for he and his sister. You know, that's how it started. And usually this is how these perpetrators start, you know, at the early stage, you know, by stealing stuff, and they get used to it, they don't want to work. So in school one day, he met Ivan and become best friends. They the top two students in the math class, as you can see, the smart students, learned how to code from Maskin's older brother. So over a few years, Maskin and Ivan learned from each other. And by the time they were 13 years old, they dropped out of school to go and work for a ladder factory with Maskin's older brother, where they were paid to work on automation projects, which is computer automation. So one day at the company Christmas party, they met an emerging figure named Vladimir, who was desperate, in need of a team of coders, because you can identify them as smart, the hackers. So Vladimir offered an outstanding sum of money to Maskin and Ivan. From then on, they become known as evil cops. So that's the name. And they launch a lot of one of the big attacks that you can think of. So, and Russia and some other countries, bad, rogue country, used this private contractor also to launch various of attacks, and they've caused significant kind of damages into the company and even government agencies. And you can see FBI has been looking for them. Some of these people, they are, like I said, it's a cybercrime, so they are not usually, somewhere you can just go and knock on their door or, chase them. They're invisible basically, but they can trace them using some kind of, online trace identifications to pinpoint where this source is coming from if they know about how those effects comes about. So this is how these cybercrimes have gone to the max, and there's millions and millions of dollars involved. And so you can see there's also an investment in it. So this is the story about this is to let us know how investment and how lucrative this cybercrime is, and for us to be also aware. All right. So what are the the common misconception of cybercrime? So when we look at it, some of us would think like, well, I have antivirus software. We are too small to be targets. Our data is in the cloud, so it's safe right now. We don't have any hackers that want what we have, and attack or breach won't happen to us. So this is all the misconception that we all always have in our mind that, we're small company. They're not going to come for us. They always go for big guys. But in a sense, they love small guys because it's easy target. If they can make, a few $100 or 1,000, whatever it is, it's also hard up. Think about it, the multiple victims. So, we can just simply assume that, we are not going to be exposed, because of our size or because of what we think we have, but it's a hand, no ending game for this cybercrime, so they can attack in any form. So, let's be aware of this, that, even if we have this in place, it can still come after. And, types of attack. So let's look at this type of attack one by one. And I just kind of break it down so that we can see how they work. I mean, to see them in more graphic, but, I can go into one of them so we understand what it does if we don't. So there's something called password attack. Hackers love password because it's the key for them to get into your account. So the password attack can come in script, algorithms, password sniffer, keystroke, loggers that seek to obtain system password. The purpose is to obtain the system password, the legal access. And I will also talk about some of the things that we can do to mitigate these issues so that even if they steal your password, they still can access. So DDoS attack, DDoS attack is probably like one of the things that have been the initial process of cybercrime. They wanted to take the network out of the system, they wanted to disrupt the network. They use all kind of launch to distribute denial of service attack that will overwhelm the resources on the network. That is the launch. Sometimes they use it to make a statement. They use it to disrupt the business because they wanted to take the business out for some reason. It could be political gain, it could be financial gain. So there's something also called, so these are called direct attack, meaning like they will launch it directly into you, and then you will see the effect. Some are sneak attacks, meaning like they go behind the scene, unattended, that you won't even see. One of them is called Trojan horses. This has existed way more than decades. So it's like imposter malware or code disguise to appear legitimate to gain backdoor system access. So they can be inflicted through some code injection, through some kind of virus has been implemented in something that you download, and then you're just going to install it like a normal software, but it's actually a Trojan horse, and it's the job is to cause damages, steal some information from the victim. Spyware and eavesdrop in attack. So this is malicious software that infiltrates devices to gather information. Some of these things you don't see because they go through the back door. Some of them are done underground on the background, and you won't even see. And the attempt is to steal data transmitted across unsecure network. So they wanted to see, like, once they get the vulnerability, they will be able to take those data, and then they can use it as they fit. Phishing is the common attack that happens to this day and age because there's a money involved, and it's a way of luring people. So when you look at fishing, like you throw the bait into the water, you wish you catch a fish. That's exactly what the concept is. So the attempt is to trick user into sharing sensitive info by posting as a trusted entity. And I'm going to show you something, sample of email that looks like phishing that you can see. So you can see all these emails and links that says click on this link and win, 100,000, whatever it is. So those are called phishing. They lure you in and then they get your information. Ransomware happens in a very in an attack to hold some kind of sensitive information ransom. That's the word. The word ransom, to hold something for a gain. So the malware that locks user out of the devices, systems, and data until fee is paid. So they will lock your systems, lock your data, encrypt it, so you can't use it. And then you have to pay them, and then they give you the key, or they give you the information to unlock it. This is the most sophisticated one, but that is the one that do generate a lot of money. Usually they want you to send money in Bitcoins. Malwares, worms, and viruses. So malwares and worms and the viruses, these are common attacks that usually happens when a malicious software meant to damage or steal data from devices or network is similar to Trojan horses, but this is more like new way of introducing malware in different kinds. They come in different kinds. The deceitful manners. Somewhere you go and you click on a link. Somewhere you go and you download things. You download software. You're thinking it's legit. It could be a malware. All right. So All right. So according to Verizon, this is 2020 data breach investigation report by Verizon. Oh, Verizon is a wireless and network telecommunication company in US. The data breach investigation report. So it's just gonna show you like, who is behind the breaches, who are behind this attack. So if you can look at the scale of the attack, you can see perpetrated by outsiders. So if you're looking to like, where are these attacks coming from? Is it internal or some kind of, partners, that of? I wanted to take you down, but it's not the case. It could be the case, but mostly like majority involves in organized criminal groups or perpetrators treated outside the organization or people of. It can be involved in internal actors. Usually, people that doesn't like employee and rogue, bad employee, bad business, partners or whatever. This can happen. So these are the investigation reports and based on the breaches behind it. All right, so this also comes to the next topic on one important is that how much business data was a bad actor? And do you think like they're just doing this because they love it? Is they're doing it because there is financial or there is political or some kind of reward, at the end of it? So more than 6 billion digital records. And this is also the source from Verizon Data Breach Investigation Report. More than 6 business digital record exposed in 2021 itself. Credit card information. And you can see this is per record. And think about how many, millions of records. Customer PII, which is customer information. And you can see the values of dollars based on these victims. Employees, patient information record, customers, patient information, patient information, personal information record, information, medical records, sales and financial info, proprietary info. It goes on along, and you can see the dollar involved in these victims. And we always hear the news, some companies been, attacked. This government agency has been attacked. So this is what is going on. So they take those data and they use it to monetize their through some kind of financial forms. So what is the impact of downtime? And as a business, so not only business, maybe as an individual or professional, but mostly business, or if you have anything that you really care of, we all do. We all have personal information that we store on our computers, on our phones. What is the impact of downtime? When it comes to ransom attack, according to the MSP reports, which is managed service provider, it costs 23 times greater than the ransom requested, as you can think of. So they know that, most companies would rather pay for that money because they know if they continue to lose businesses or go down based on the attack, or most companies just, to save the day and continue running their business, they will just pay that ransom. I've witnessed one experience where the business had to pay the ransom because they are losing money and the customers are on their neck. So they have to end up and pay the customer, the bad guy. So, they know that you will be able to pay because they know it's your business is at stake and you will find the money. So they do it on purpose. So ransom attack, like I said, don't need to be able to monetize stolen data. All they just need is the victim business to require enough data, hold it as ransom, and then be able to pay back. If you refuse not to pay them, then they might expose your data in the market. They can do some kind of stuff. They can sell it. So but and how do you know that they won't come back? You never know. They can come back again and launch the attack. So 58% of the business who paid a ransom in the last 12 months did so because the cost of the ransom was less than the cost of, that will cost them to be down, for several days. So they will just pay the ransom and move on, So that's why it's a lucrative business for the crime. I mean, for the cyber crime criminals. So the industries that are affected. So let's look at these industries that are affected with cybercrime. You can see it's enormous. If you look at this list, you will see the highest is the professional services. Like, if you're in professional services, if you are a professional, person, they do come for those people, or businesses, healthcare, financial insurance, legal, which is the law firm, retail, real estate, architect, government, and the list goes on. So the industry goes in different phases. And then construction and manufacturing has 32%, because construction businesses don't tend to focus on, they just want to build buildings and things, and they're not worried about, the implication of cybercrime. So ransomware in Office 365 is on the rise. So a lot of companies, and when you say, why would I put it? Because a lot of companies are using Office 365 because it's convenient in the cloud. You don't need to put your data in some systems, and you can always work anywhere. You can retrieve your data from anywhere. So, but it also gives the vulnerability for attackers to go for this data, go for this tools. So 28% of MSP reports, which is managed service providers, report ransom attack in SaaS applications are on the rise because of the convenience and because of the cloud innovation. These attacks are also being, targeted towards this software as a service cloud solution. And of the 28%, 64% of MSP report attack with Team Office 365, or 49% in 2008. So, and also we are MSP provider. We also see some complaints or some issues that, customers are concerned about, how secure is that data in the cloud. This should be concerned. Even if it's in the cloud, it doesn't mean it's secure. But at the same time, it gives you the opportunity to be able to access your data anywhere. But at the same time, it's also vulnerability that you also need to look into. So, don't be a victim. Like, this is the ways. Don't let us be the victim. How do we protect ourselves? How do we make ourselves less vulnerable for this attack? So, companies, if you have a digital presence, you have to be able to, you have to protect yourself, and at least do the basic stuff, which is your password, your login, on the defense, so that, at least those are one of it. And then the most important thing is the backup. So identity protection, access management, which is, how do you get in, log in? Email security is also concerned because, through phishing and malware and all that stuff, endpoint protection, like have antivirus malware on your system. And I'm going to go deep into this as well. Remote monitoring, web network security, mobile security, backup and recovery. This is very key to back up your data. End user training, which is awareness. This is some of the things that we are doing right now, training ourselves, how to protect. End user training is also key because the most effective defense is from the users. If users understand some of the basic protections, they can protect themselves before the attackers can get infiltrated into the system. So, for example, if you see an email that looks suspicious, you don't open that email link that is in the email. You forward the email to your security or your IT provider to take a look, and they can tell you, the legitimate data protection is also one key aspect. So 3 steps you can take right now that will, at least give you like the first defensive mechanism that you can protect. Number one is, you have a password, have multi-factor authentication. Some of these have Office 365 and some other apps, they have multi-factor authentication. If you don't enable it now. That's one step that you can do. Multi-factor is if someone stole your password and they wanted to get in, but there is another layer of protection, which is, 2 factors or multi-factors. Maybe you have a phone or a fingerprint or some kind of device that will send a notification to your phone or your devices to say, what, are you the person that requested this password? Login information. And if it's you accept yes on your phone or your devices, and then you're able to get in. So even if they get hold of your password, they won't be able to do more damage because they will still need some kind of devices. That is it's still the best protection out there. There's no security breach behind 2-factor authentication or multi-factor authentication. It's still the most secure protection in terms of password protection. Use password manager, so where you can rotate your password or you can use strong passwords, so that it's not easy. I will see some kind of people using password 123 or dog lover. It's something simple. It's just an easy password to be detected, and if you're using that password because it's easy for you, but then it's also exposing danger to your data. So backup important. Back up your data. So why is backup important? Is if something happens to your data, you can always recover somewhere. If it's stolen, if it's damaged through cybercrime or through unexpected occurrence, events like storm, water, flooding, or even mistakenly deleted data. So this can protect you. So during the COVID-19, which is not recent ago, which is more recent, alarming increasing in the cybercrime. We see the increase in cybercrime because people were home, they were all working remotely, so people are online. So cybercrime they were like, wow, this is an opportunity for us to launch attack because people are using more of these digital devices, the digital presence more than before. So there's a lot of complaints according to the FBI report 2020, that the cyber attack complaints are up by 400%. And we understand why, because people are more, available online than before. Microsoft reported that pandemic team phishing and social engineering attacks have jumped by 10,000 a day, which is a lot. Cybersecurity expert report that ransom attacks are up 800% 100%. So we can see even COVID-19 have transition or transformed the way we do business, but at the same time, it also comes with burden of cybercrime. And this is us being aware of what is at stake, so that we can better prepare ourselves and also prepare our customers and prepare us. So remote work and cybersecurity, I want to talk about this a little bit. Just 36% of organizations have dealt with security incidents due to uninsecure remote workers. And like I said, the users, employees, customers, they are the first defense. Because once they were able to identify, okay, don't let me click on this link, don't let me open this thing, don't let me open this file, they can protect themselves, or don't let me pick up this call. So if you can see, if the end user can have some kind of training or some kind of awareness, there will be more awareness and the protection that the end user can protect the organization, at least from the first layer of defense. So endpoint protection. So 64% of SMB experience one or more endpoint attacks that successfully compromised data in 2008. Coming to your laptops through some kind of malware or some kind of virus, and then email phishing is probably one of the most cybercrime out there, where email will be sent as phishing and hiding and then collecting information about the users or the company. So most companies doesn't provide email security or training or training to their to their employee. So when employees see those emails, they will be looking like, oh, it's coming from my CEO, it's coming from somebody I know, but it's being perpetrated by somebody else, using real legitimate people, and then launching the attack. So I'm going to show us sample of emails that looks like legit, but if you pay attention to it, you will see it's not legit. And most people fall for this victim. So let's look at sample of this mail. So they come in different methods, as financial subscriptions. It's all kind of, and sometimes you can see like, oh, how did they know that I have this account? How did they know? All they're doing is they're launching attack, and they're launching information. Whatever they can find, they will launch it. It's their business, so they invest a lot of money into it and time. So if you can look at this email, and most of us are familiar with PayPal, it's one of the payment systems in the world, and you can see this email, it looks legit, like it has the PayPal, and you can see it says your account has been limited. We detect unauthorized person was access your PayPal account and make sure some purchases on Spotify, you put these devices. They're just telling you like, we find some unusual payment going on in your account, and then they will send you a link to click. And you can see this comes through actually my email, one of my email. And I was like, okay, I don't have Spotify account, but I have a PayPal account. Okay, but they said make some purchase on Spotify. So I was looking down to it immediately. So you don't click on their link. This looked like legit, but you was like, okay, maybe somebody using my PayPal to buy something. Well, first of all, anybody will click on the link. So what they do is they'll send you a link and you click on it and they will ask you for information, which you show. They'll say, please enter your PayPal password or PayPal username or some sensitive information. Some of them might even take you to the real PayPal website, which they mimic. They spend a lot of money and time into it. So I log into my PayPal. I don't use their link. I log in and I don't see any activities in the PayPal. I say, okay, this is it. And then I look at the email heading. And I say, okay, where is this coming from? If you look, it's not coming from PayPal directly. If you look at the prompt, this is my email. But if you look at the prompt, you will see it's coming from a ridiculous email, which is not for PayPal. PayPal would never send you this information. They will have the way of doing this. Another one, let's take a look. This is Spotify. They said Spotify Premium for family. If you do not authorize this purchase, please visit cancellation form. This is where they always get you. They always get you to where you click a link. And it's like, okay, Spotify Premium for family. I don't home Spotify. I don't buy anything. And they said, click on this for cancellation form. It will never happen. And then if you look at the header, you will see it's like this. So these are some of the things that, so how do you spot this? It's training. And this is awareness of what we are doing today to educate ourselves. You look at this email, first thing you will see is, okay, all right, don't let me click on, first thing, don't click on any link. I will say, don't click on any link. So if you have an account with a bank or Spotify or whatever, go to their website directly or their app. Don't click on the link on your email. They won't send you the link. They will go to there and verify. Don't click on the link. This link is for you to go into and fill up a form with your password or sensitive information. So let's just be aware of that. This is another email sample that comes next. So you can see this is another legit care customer. Your PayPal account has been temporarily restricted. We have fast official activity and credit card link to your PayPal. You must confirm your identity and then they put the link to log in. This is the fake PayPal link. It looks like a PayPal when you log in, but when you go onto the web link, you will see it's fake. But most people don't. They will just click on the link. Oh, but I have a PayPal account, and then you start putting information in there. By the time you know your password is already been put in, and then boom, you get rid of your information. So, and like I said, how do you protect yourself? The basic things is don't click on any link. Like I said, you can do so much investigation. Like look at the header of the email and see where the email is coming from. You can do some analysis by checking, the IP. But this is more for like tech person. But as a lay person, the first thing you do is, okay, PayPal will not send you a link on any of your bank to click on a link directly. So you have to go in, you log in to a separate website, a secure website. You type in paypal.com and you put your information in there with your two authentication or multi-factor information. So cybersecurity fact. Security is an obligation for every one of us. It's not an option. We have to take it seriously. And this training and also awareness and educating ourselves, it's for us to be more proactive and also have knowledge of how we can protect ourselves. We or someone that we know or people we know that fall into this victim, So we don't want to be the victims, or we don't want our family or someone that we, to be a victim, because the end result is that it costs, you lose data. How many times like people were able to hack into some people's social media account and they start posting information. It happens all the time. Log into your bank account and steal information, but it does happen. So your investment is, in security is very important. So employee, individual, invest some money in security, will pay it off. At least the minimum thing is, like I said, you have, antivirus protection on your devices, 2 or multi-factor authentication along with your password, and don't click on any links that come to your email or anywhere that you don't know. Make sure when you're browsing, browse on the website that has HTTPS on their, and make sure they are legit. Don't click on link that takes you to another link. Make sure you type in the website directly. So for example, let's go back to this email, and I'll open the room for question now. We're almost done. So let me go back to this email, like PayPal, for example, or Spotify. And I will just go to PayPal directly. You open up a browser and then you type in PayPal. and then you log in. That's what you would do. Don't if you say, if you're curious to say, okay, let me confirm, don't click on the link. The link is a bait, it's a phishing, like you said. They will bait you to somewhere and what they usually do is they will create a fake website. They will call it PayPal dot, whatever, blah blah blah. And then you're like, oh, I log into PayPal, okay. And then you will have the logo, you have everything that looks the same. You think you log in into PayPal, but actually log into their server, and they're collecting those information. So let's be careful about that, and always make sure you have HTTPS. All right, so there's the room for questions. If anybody has any questions, please feel free. This is a recorded, so we're gonna share it to people that didn't attend and everybody else. Do anybody has questions? Please, this is the moment. Is there anything that you guys feel you wanted to know?